All right, all right, all right.
Right.
It is Friday, and we got some movies to talk about.
Yeah, we'll break down and analyze.
We're going to break it down, analyze. I probably got some stuff on Tron that maybe nobody else has ever talked about. I don't know.
Interesting stuff.
It is. I think it is. You know, I wish there was a certain video I could play, and I'll explain later that I. But it's so cool on how it's related to the Tron movie.
Yeah, no, that's actually fucking cool. I was a little bit shocked. I was like, what the fuck is it? I have never heard of this.
Yeah. People are probably right now like, what the hell are they talking about? And I'm about to get into it in a second. I actually had everything up, but then I saw a dog run out there in the backyard, and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And it got me off. So let me see here. I'm trying to find it real quick because we're going to talk about Tron first.
Yeah.
We'll go into the other ones. So the title is Tron, Terminator, and Star Trek: The Motion Picture Gave Birth to Artificial Intelligence.
Yes, it did.
So now we're not talking about all the Star Trek movies. I want everybody to hear that. We're talking about the very first movie, not the TV series. The very first movie, Star Trek: The Motion Picture. We're talking about that one because this movie is more than just exploring space. This movie is really about the birth of creating actual artificial intelligence.
Yes.
What's weird is we had things right in front of you, and somehow magically they disappear
every time the show starts, dude.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's the weirdest thing. I'm trying to find where the hell did it go?
I always call it the fucking evil dark side reptilians or whatever. There's freaking the Jinn and the omnipresent world like to screw things up right before certain shows start.
Yeah, I found it. I found it. I found it. So I want to do a couple little quick shout outs to see who's here in the chat already. We got Ben in that's here in the chat. Welcome. Carla Webster, who's always fantastic with breaking down movies herself.
Yes.
She's always fantastic. We got people watching, but those are the only two in the chat. Give me 1 second.
No problem. I don't blame people. I would not want to come in our chat. I don't want to be seen with them guys in there. I just want to listen to hear what they got to say, take notes, and then make my own show and steal it. I'm joking. Information is free for me. Whenever I say something, everyone's welcome to it. There's no fucking trophy, man.
No, there is no trophy.
Information is free. Go ahead and have it.
It is. Now, the first movie, I know we're not talking about it in order, but we're going to be talking about Tron.
Yes.
And Tron came out in 1982. And I want to show computers in 1982.
Them 80s, boy. Something about them 80s.
And I don't think people realized how advanced when Tron came out really was. I mean, it's hard to think of because in 1982, I'm going to show you images of what computers were like during the 1980s, 1982. If you can see the image, these are the computers in 1982. These, you can't watch movies on them.
No.
You have to. It's a DOS program. It's all DOS, really. I mean, it's all punching codes. Well, DOS came out with. Well, Microsoft is the one who brought in DOS. So this ain't DOS. DOS came later on with Microsoft. But in early computers, it was all input in line. It's all direct
programming it as you're using it.
And I mean, you can look at some of these old computers. I mean, that's like one of the first Apple was like one of the first advanced computers, but not even Apple was like right there in 1982. It was Commodore 64 were the big computers. Here's 1982 timeline of computer history, computer museum. Let me click here. Let me see if it can get me in here. I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to put this other screen to show people computers just so they can kind of get an idea of how advanced Tron really was. Now, if you look here, Commodore introduced the Commodore 64, and at the time it sells for $595. Now, first of all, guys, think about this: $595 is a lot of money right now. But if you're talking about 1982, $595 is a hell of a lot of money.
Money, man.
So whoever had these computers, you had to have money. You had to be rich, you know. And then you know, later on you have the Franklin release Apple II clones.
Yeah.
You know, then of course the processors get a little better. I mean,
well, don't forget there's a time traveler that's well known in the communities of whatever's up. His name was John John Teeter. Those of you guys that remember John Teeter. And one of his things is reasons why he had to come back in time, Eric. I don't know if you know this, that he had to find a specific program in Commodore, in the Commodore computer. You see, there was a specific program in the Commodore computer that he had to come back in time from the future to the past to get out of that computer. Yeah, I just want to throw that in a little bit of time travel information for you guys. His name is John Teeter. He's from the future, and yeah, he came back to scavenge some parts from the Commodore.
I like what Hobbs just said. I saw Tron at the cinema in 1982 while on mushrooms. Wasn't a pleasant experience.
I would imagine.
Look at the Fred robot. Isn't that kind of cool looking? The Fred robot.
The Fred robot. What the fuck does a Fred robot do?
Nolan Bushnell founded Androbot with former Atari engineer. Remember, Atari was early 80s?
Yes.
Late 70s, early 80s. The friendly robotic educational device, Fred, designed for 6 to 15 years old, never made it to the market. Never made it to market because it's too expensive. Who could
remember it anyway? I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, well, it never made it to the market.
Yeah. Weird.
It is weird. So let me go here now. Tron. Let me share this one screen. It's a great article about Tron. This is actually it's a great article. Anybody wants to read about this article, I'm going to put this article in the chat.
Tron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. There we go. Tron. Now, Tron, the guy who created Tron, his last name was Les Burger. Les Burger. I guess he wanted less burgers than having actually more burgers. I mean,
ironic, weird name, man. Less burgers. Okay.
Les Burger.
Going in the
his name is actually important. Here we go. Tron was made by directed and written by Steven Lesberger. And this guy's important. This guy's important.
You know, I'm sorry, I have to laugh. Eric and I are from California. We know about Hollywood, and there's a large. I'm not putting down any. I was in the military with Jewish people, really good guys. They'll cover your six, but they're pretty much atheists. But yeah, a lot of burgers, a lot of Steens, a lot of Steins, a lot of the very large Jewish community of producers and directors in, in Hollywood. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me. A burger, okay. Yeah, especially German Jewish.
It's actually a cool name. So basically, yeah, this is kind of interesting. So like I said, the idea of Tron came from a guy named Steven Lesberger. He's a producing partner. He had a producing partner named Donald Kushner, okay, who is now co-owner of the TCL Chinese theaters. I think somebody else bought it. I think Netflix bought it or Amazon. Wow. I don't know. But during this time, Steven and Donald moved from Boston to Venus in the mid-'70s, okay? Before he made Tron, he made a cartoon series called Animal Pix.
That's weird.
Okay, Animal Pix. Now, Animal Pix was it was a cartoon designed around animals for the Olympics.
Yes,
I know. It's crazy. Let me show people pictures. Yeah. And this is important. You guys got it. You guys got to.
Yes.
Hear this. Okay. Here's pictures.
This is important, guys.
In a lot of ways, it's important. This guy designed a cartoon called Animal Pix, and his cartoons were designed for animals about the Olympics, about playing games, and it was made for the Olympics in 1980. Look at these pictures, and now remember, Tron is about playing games.
Yeah,
I mean, putting these characters into games. Okay. Here we go, mid-'70s, 2 animated NBC specials that were aired during the Winter and Summer Olympics in 1980. Only the winter one aired because the U.S. boycotted the Summer Olympics in Moscow to protest the Russian invasion of Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys designed these cartoons. And then, of course, these cartoons, only one of them was allowed to play for the Olympics or the Winter Olympics, but not for the Summer Olympics because the Russians invaded Afghanistan. So the U.S. Basically boycotted. Kind of a weird, right? I mean, it was boycott. So during the boycott is when during the production that's when the idea of Tron took shape, where Steve was actually playing games. They're drawing cartoons for their thing, and then the mind came out for Tron.
So basically, it goes back to the Afghan war against
Afghanistan war. You could say that because of the Russian boycott. You know, and I mean, I don't know exactly what day they sat there and say, Tron. Okay, now there's a cool freaking cartoon of this that I showed Bob today. It was like 2 minutes and 47 seconds where this cartoon had this thing smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, solid gold medal, start chasing it, and had another camel that showed her boobs in a way. And then it showed greed and money and what you see nowadays.
Yeah, it's
yeah. So if you want to see this cartoon, I'll show you where you can see it. Because I actually put it on one of my other channels, and oh, I gotta press pause. I can't play it. I can't play this cartoon, and I'll tell you why. I put this cartoon on my other channel, and I found out that there's a copyright on this where in most countries you can't watch this. So I'm gonna put my I'm gonna put where you see this cartoon that actually starts is the beginning of Tron, really. But if you're in some countries, you're not going to be able to see this. It's blocked in a lot of countries, so I can't tell you who's able to see this and who's able not to see this. But
it's blocked in a lot of countries. A lot of countries. You cannot play this video on any platform. It is blocked. They don't. I have never seen this cartoon ever. In the 80s, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I was a kid. We watched cartoons. I was a cartoon head. Everybody was a cartoon head in the 80s. You know all the cartoons in the 80s. Yeah. I mean, every one, even the obscure ones we all watch cartoons, it was not. This guy's smoking a cigarette, drinking.
I can't play it, but you can see he's sitting there. This is an Olympic runner, an Olympic runner cartoon. He has a cigarette in his mouth, and he's drinking alcohol. And like I said, let me see. And then he sees.
He's a goat. Yes, he's a goat. For those of you who are wondering, yes, he is a goat.
He's a goat coin. And then he starts ripping off his clothes. And he starts running. And then of course you got these people that want to feed him fat food, I guess. And then I'm trying to see here, like I said, and then here's I don't know if that's a bear or if that's a tiger.
I don't know.
Made boobs on this tiger.
It's another goat. I think it's the androgynous goat. I don't know. It's a goat with breasts. So it's got breasticles. We don't know what the genitalia is. We're not going to go over family friendly, but yeah, the medal that he was chasing, the gold medal that he was chasing, turned into this androgynous female goat character, where he is chasing it, and it keeps morphing itself into different things like a clock with time. Also, the directions from north south. It's another sort of compass. It goes into some strange ass stories, and Eric goes back to remember the creators of this cartoon are the ones who made Tron. At a protest, now they made this cartoon, like Eric said, out of protest from the government. I don't know who fucking paid them to do this. At a protest for the Afghanistan war with Russia against Afghan. So this came out because of the Olympics around the same time. So go ahead, Eric, keep filling people in.
No. You can see part of the cartoon is where they're trying to bribe the runner.
Yeah,
I wish I could play this, but this got banned, and that's why I test videos out on my other channel first, because we'll be watching this and then we'll be taken down.
Eric, are there 2 lines on that S or 1 line on that money S? I think there's 2 lines.
Can't really tell. Can't
I think
really
there's 2 lines on that money bag. Those money bag. Okay, I just want to see if it was a like a residual-ish, because a lot of satire things. I love cartoons because they hold a lot of residuals. If you believe
I can get a better vision of it.
Yeah, of a different timeline. So it's interesting. But anyway, yeah. So those are the money changers. They're trying to tempt him as he's chasing the the androgynous golden goat lady, and he passes by all the money changers, bankers, trying to endorse and money. But yeah, keep going there. Now this is about Tron, guys. This leads us into Tron.
Well, yeah, this is the guy who invented Tron. I mean, it's that's what I'm saying. It's so interesting. So he invented Tron. Let me see. Now, when this movie came out, it actually bombed. It only grossed $33 million. When they made this movie, when they were making this movie, they said that they didn't have the technology to make this movie. They're just going to invent the technology, kind of like Star Wars, which technically, Star Wars has a guy. Let me see here. I'm trying to find it. His name. Actually, let me share this screen back. So if people want to see where I'm getting this information from, so they know I'm not making this stuff up. You know, let's have a produce partner. Oh, that's not the paragraph. There's a paragraph. Tron, he tried to actually make the movie as an independent production, but this movie would have costed too much. And of course, the only movie at the time was Disney. And why that was rare, because it says at the time Disney wasn't the powerhouse as it was today.
Yeah.
There were little animation, and its live action films included Hot Lead, Cold Feet, and Condor Man. Office on fire. So at the time, they weren't setting movies on fire. They weren't the biggest movies out there. So taking a chance was huge. And then trying to find out the guy. Here we go. Visual effects supervisor Harrison Elshaw, renowned Met painter who had earned an Oscar nomination with his father, Peter Elshaw, for special effects they did on the 1979 Disney The Black Hole, which the Black Hole was good, but it was like a little kind of a ripoff of a cheap version of Star Wars. They had a robot in the Black Hole too, Yeah. But it's
relevant. Remember, it's relevant because we've got Tron from Walt Disney, who did Tron about what we call the Matrix, right? Life before the Matrix. They made a movie about the black hole and going into a black hole, which we have now. We've got two multiple black holes merging into each other, according to all the big buzz in NASA's literature is about the black holes. Everything is about black hole, black hole, black hole. So here we go back to the 80s.
Yeah. And one of the supervisor special effects has worked on the original Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, which we all know that was created by George Lucas, who created, one of the most popular Mandela effects of all time. Look, I'm your father kind of stuff. Some people say silver leg, gold leg. I'm not here talking about that, but what I'm saying is there's a relation to some of these movies.
All around the same time, like 70s going into the 80s and into the 80s. So we're talking about Jedi warriors. We're talking about good versus evil in space battle. Then we go into the black hole, and then we go into Tron, the mystery of the Matrix, going into the Matrix itself, a game in the digital cloud. And then we go back to the cartoon.
And it kind of, it goes back to the cartoon, and it kind of tells you what society was like, because society at that time was not ready for wasn't ready for this kind of thing. It wasn't ready for artificial intelligence. Because the movie is basic artificial intelligence. Because if you guys don't know the main plot line of the movie, the main evil character, they created this master program, and this worker and the master program kind of like worked together and basically stole files from a guy named Flynn, and basically made himself CEO, because he became creator of these games where he was not the creator. A master program basically worked with him, and the master program basically was blocking, I don't know if you want to call it hackers or not, were blocking everybody that was trying to get into the mainframe. So Tron was a basic independent. A Tron character was an independent security fighter, virus fighter, whatever it was. And of course, the master computer don't want Tron messing around with him, because he's the main dude. So Flynn, this character, wants to break back into it, find his files, expose the evil empire, expose like Wall Street, from stealing his plans, stealing his thing. So basically what this computer did was, it was kind of cool that in Tron, and Bob mentioned this while he was watching some scenes of Tron, where there's this machine that zaps you and takes your molecules, like expose a store it, so it re-puts you out and puts you in the game. Like Bob said, wow,
same thing Star Trek. The Star Trek.
Exactly what Star Trek does. Star Trek does this, and they did this. And then once the master computer takes this guy and zaps him into the computer, dude, you just added true artificial intelligence. You just mix computer with man. You put man in the mainframe. You put the man in the computer chips. In motherboard. Whatever you want to call it. I mean,
I remember it's the same thing as when you're going from starship to star. They break you down. They break you down molecules. They break you down numerically. So you're basically a number. You're a number. You're literally broken down into a number, a series of numbers.
Zeros and ones.
Yeah, and then after, it probably condenses it down and then puts you as your physical self, because you're just vibrating particles and you're a certain number, just transforms you into the cloud or into the Matrix or into whatever game it was. And the thing was, it goes back to religion, because he's a human. He's human with a different self-consciousness and a soul, going into a soulless game. A soulless game where nobody in there has a soul. You're just in the game. He's human with a human soul. However, he is one of the sim characters in the game. Kind of like that Yeshua, Jesus thing, or Muhammad, or Buddha, or whatever mythical character you have for whatever religion you worship or whatever. Always have a demigod. The demigod has the human attributions, however the god powers. It's inside of the Matrix.
Yeah, they did the same thing. Carla's right. Jumanji is the same kind of format. You know?
Which is ironic because they have all of a sudden Jumanji's a big deal. Like I was like, it's 2016, and from 2016 to now, Jumanji 1, Jumanji 2. I'm like, what's up with all the Jumanjis? And it's a video game. It's the same. Eric goes back to Tron. It goes back to the same concept.
Yeah, Jumanji came out in 1995, and then the sequel actually came way later in 2017. Of course, the third one in 2019. But the whole concept of Jumanji really came from Tron. It just instead of putting them in a computer, Jumanji put them like in a real life situation, but it's still a game.
Yeah.
So it's all still a game, right? And then of course it's about man trying to break down the artificial intelligence that he created, because Master Program wants to be the ultimate.
Yes.
So it's awesome. You know, it's just so cool. And the whole CGI special effects people are basically animation.
Yeah, I like
animation. It was basically with the, you know how like cartoons used to be like all drawn by hand, drawn looks, and even after Tron, most cartoons was still written that way. It wasn't until like Pixar where they kind of picked up on that technology and made CGI cartoon animatics like more smooth, more real looking. But dude, they already had that in Tron.
I know.
I mean, it wasn't too much later in life that the movie never really got the respect that it deserved. I mean, guys, it never got the respect now because, first of all, in 1982, when the movie came out, it was going against Blade Runner. It was going against Road Warrior. E.T. Now, of course, everybody knows E.T. was the biggest movie that year that made over $300 million, and Tron only grossed $33 million. You know, to a point where this is where Hollywood greed gets involved, people. This is where Hollywood gets involved. Tron, it even says here. Oh, hold on, what did she say? Hello, sorry, dog in our fenced backyard trying to fight with our fuzzy baby. I lured the stray out with the canned tuna fish. Sticking, I knew my work. Actually, guys, we got a bunny rabbit that lives somewhere in our backyard with all our tree that we cut down, and our dog is always trying to chase that bunny. Can never get to it.
He's barking at it right now. It's ironic that Hearst is doing the same thing because he's doing the same thing.
I never watched Tron. Running Man was a great movie, though. You should watch Tron. I mean, Tron was so far ahead of its time. And you can still watch it now. I mean, the graphics might be a little bit outdated, but it's still not bad. It's really not bad. And I mean, it's about their users, right? So Flynn is a user, and they zap a user into a game where they put these programs into games. And now, and the master computer wants these programmers to get destroyed, like how like if you have a security program on your computer to fight viruses and explodes it, they did it with games. And the idea was he's going to put this user to die by these programs. And of course, he breaks loose.
The Matrix. The movie The Matrix.
It's a very Matrix. Now, in the sequel, remember in the sequel, Tron Legacy, Flynn goes back into Tron, goes back into this world, and he couldn't be everywhere at once. So in Tron Legacy, he created a duplicate of himself to help run the world while he's back in the real world. And of course, in Tron Legacy, his duplicate self started to develop like a conscious, like, this is my fucking world. We should be us in this world should be coming out in that world. So you're talking about Matrix. You're talking about mixing from one world to get into the other world. So this movie is more advanced than the Matrix movies you watch now with Keanu Reeves. Hey, I like Keanu Reeves. I like those Matrix movies. But I'm telling you, Tron is, my opinion, the first real Matrix movie where they mix human with computers by putting them inside. Now, we're going to get to Star Trek, where we're going to, Star Trek came out before Tron, but, we're going to get there. But this is where Hollywood greed.
Well, remember Agent Smith, Eric? Agent Smith wanted to become human.
Yes.
So he left the Matrix to become human. The same concept with Tron 2, Part 2, is that he wants to become human now. They want to come out of the game and Matrix and reality and come into real reality. Same thing. Yeah, it was the same thing to do with religion, where these demons or these otherworldly, anti-present, whatever people want to come into this reality, where you have demonic possessions, where you have people being possessed by whatever it is, dark entity from the other side. From the Matrix world, the other side.
And now get this, guys. And people knew how advanced Tron was. In 1982, they were going to put Tron, and it says it right here. Tron was scheduled to be on both cover of Time magazine and Newsweek. Okay? So Tron was going to be on Time magazine and Newsweek. To show like how advanced this movie is. But you know what they did? At the last minute, they pulled Tron off the cover because the movie didn't make that much money. I like E.T. Don't get me wrong, people. I like E.T. E.T. was a fun, great movie. Steven Spielberg movies, the cute kind of a movie. They removed Tron and they put like E.T. in them on it. Why? Because they made more money. So even though you had this movie that broke the mold, that broke the barrier of computers and humans putting together, where you never saw almost anything like that. Yeah, you had Battlestar Galactica fighting like robots, fighting artificial intelligence in the original Battlestar Galactica show. But this one combined human and robot together into the same exact world of the computer side. And people weren't ready, and then at the last minute they pulled it. And what was cool about now 15 years after Tron came out, when Roger Ebert was alive, Roger Ebert invited that director and writer to a special screening in University of Illinois of Urbana, where they had 1,800 seats. And they were doing a special 1,800 seats for the special movie for Tron. Sold out in less than a day. Sold out because young people realized how advanced this movie was, and they all went to the sold out event of 1,800 people. Remember, 1,800 people for a movie.
That's a lot.
For a movie that did not even sell out. There's such a cult following like Blade Runner. Blade Runner was a movie that was way far ahead of its time, and they weren't popular. They weren't big. They weren't huge. But the following stuck with it, and they stayed with it. And even Tron Legacy did well at the theaters. And it's so, I don't know how to say this. I don't know what's wrong with people. It's like if something they don't understand or they don't want to understand, they stay away from it. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, it's not supposed to get it. They themselves are sim characters in a video game. It reminds me of Tron right now. We're in Tron world, or the Matrix, or whatever philosophy camp you come from, whatever fake place you live. You got the soulless NPCs, and then you've got the actual real characters that got into the game. I don't know.
So, guys, if anybody tells you guys, the Matrix, that's the Matrix is really no. Say no, guys. The real Matrix are good movies, but the real Matrix was Tron. That was really the first mix. Now, saying that, I'm going to transfer this into Star Trek: The Motion Picture because Star Trek came before Tron, and the Terminator came out in '84. And we'll get to the Terminator. Now, when we talk about Star Trek, we're not talking about the series. We're not talking about every Star Trek movie that came out. We're talking about just the first Star Trek movie, the motion picture. Because I have rewatched Matrix 1 and 3 times. Yeah, hey, me and Bob both like Matrix.
Yeah.
We both realized the real Matrix movie was Tron. It wasn't Matrix. It was actually Tron. Kyle Reese gets into the world with taking pills. Tron gets zapped into that world where he had to fight machines and stuff to get back into the real world. So Matrix just took Tron and made it sexier with the special effects. It did lighting, did the phones. Remember, back in that day, they didn't have cell phones exactly. No. They had regular phones. So,
I think now they did. I'm not sure.
Maybe they did. Now maybe they did. So guys, I know if you did a poll, most people would probably say that the motion picture of all the Star Trek is probably the most boring one of them all. They probably would. Yes, Tron was brilliant. It was. Tron was brilliant. People, I don't understand why people don't realize what they did with Tron. Now, Tron took that. Now, first of all, only funny thing about Tron, there is one funny thing that I never understand. That the company was about making games, right? They're about making games. That's nothing wrong with that. That's where the profit was. But you invented this machine that can zap you or zap fruit to disappear and reappear. Dude, that technology will out make you more rich than the games itself.
Yeah.
I know it's a movie, but you know what I mean, Bob? That machine is more valuable than making games.
Well, it probably takes your body, again, it removes your particles and then it brings you down to a qubit, like a small ass little qubit, which is quantum technology, and it brings you down to that other, and then just enough to go into a game as a number, as a program, as a qubit, as a virus, virus, really.
And you know what? It probably cured cancer and stuff, right? It probably takes puts you back together. Like, remember the movie The Fly? The Fly, based on two machines in a way. But going back to Star Trek,
wait a minute, maybe The Fly is the first one, because The Fly, in the movie The Fly, they also broke down your matter, broke your research.
The only reason I don't really call The Fly any kind of artificial intelligence, because the computers was all whatever the man puts in. The computer never trying to take over, never try to do things.
Teleport. They did a teleport.
Yeah, teleport. Yeah. This movie did it all. I'm just saying, in Tron movie, the teleport would have been worth more money than the games. Shit, you make that teleport now, you're a millionaire. You're a billionaire.
Who's to say they haven't done it in some other dimension? They've done a teleporter. I don't know. We're just stretching this thing out like silly putty. Who knows? They have a teleporter right now. Aren't they supposed to be teleporting people to Mars, Eric? According to a scientist out of Jerusalem. He says that there's the Galactic Federation, and people have been transported. Americans have been going to Mars to work on and stationed with the Black Ops, the Black whatever programs they have, where people are teleported to Mars or teleported to the moon. Now, we don't know, Eric.
You never know.
You don't know,
Carla. I agree with you, Jeff Goldblum. I can only see him as the Fly. He was good in a lot of movies, but he's the Fly.
He's the Fly. He can't get him out of the Fly.
Even though his Fly was actually a remake to another Fly from the 50s, but he's the Fly. I mean, it's just like Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker, right? Jeff Goldblum, you're a Fly. I don't know if you want to be a Fly, but you're a Fly.
Yes, you're the fly.
You're a fly. Now, Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Now, even though that's probably the less popular in people's minds, but Star Trek: The Motion Picture is probably the most Star Trek movie of them all.
I loved it.
The Star Trek had a wonderful. It made you think, and they made you think. And of course, once you're done with the movie, it's kind of a simple concept of a movie.
Yeah,
and it's in typical terms.
Voyager.
Bob was looking up stuff about the machine before they knew it was Voyager. They called the machine Voyager because all the letters were dirty, and the only words they saw was Voyager. And of course, I'm glad you liked he liked the first Star Trek. Yeah, it was the most Star Trek of them all.
Yeah,
and in the basic terms, Earth sent Voyager. Bob, do you know when Earth sent that Voyager? Because Voyager, first of all, Bob, I'm going to ask you this about Voyager for Star Trek. Is Voyager a real satellite they sent?
Yes, it is a probe that was sent to space in 1977. They sent Voyager 2 and then Voyager 1, which is kind of weird. So they sent out two right next to each other. And they are still out there, according to the narrative. They are still out there, Eric, and they have reached the Helios. I call it the Helios, Helios, which is kind of weird. They would have the name Helios because Hel, which is back from paganism, which meant hell. It's back at the Vedas, hell. Anyway, back to Christian hell. Anyway, the Helios is at the end of our whatever little area we would call home here with the multiple planets in our little solar system, which is very, very, very hot and very intense. But yes, Eric, Voyager is supposed to be out there at this point, and it has left our solar system. It is on its way, Eric. It is out there.
Yeah,
it is out there. It's gone now.
This is a picture of what they Voyager in the movie. I don't know if they used a real picture of what Voyager.
They did.
Life. Is that what the real Voyager looks like? Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. And remember, it's the real Voyager according to the movies and the shows or whatever reality you want to live in. It's it's out there in inner space. So it's intergalactic space. So they wrote it up here. It's interstellar. Yeah. So now it's in interstellar space, exactly where the Star Trek movie said it was going. And of course, Eric, like you said in the movie, this is where it went, and it went into, and then it got absorbed, guys,
into the black
hole.
Oh,
now, yes.
You know what, Bob? I forgot to do something for the chat. Damn.
What'd you do? What'd you get?
Hey, guys, you know the word Tron? If you do certain math, you can make Tron.
Oh, yes.
Equal number 13.
Yes.
You guys, I don't know if anybody wants to know how I was able to get the word Tron to equals 13. Does anybody care? Or
do it because they got to learn. We're a learning channel. We're not like one of them other ones that fucking just show memes and stupid shit and have the giggle.
I believe 13 is a sniff, is a secret number.
Source code. It's a source code within the chapter number.
A 31 is a backward 13, 13, 31 are both basically they're 13. I want to know. Okay. Okay, cool. Now I got Tron to 13 and I showed Bob this morning. Now, if you take the words Tron, right, and if you go in the alphabet and you count the numbers, what the letter represents, like for example, the first letter is T. It equals 20, number 20, because that's the 20th letter in the alphabet. R is 18. In the alphabet. The letter O is 15 in the alphabet. N is 14 in the alphabet. So for a little crazy math, this might sound crazy, guys, I know, but just
child's math.
If you take the first letter, T, and the R, 20 and 18, you add that together. I'm sorry, if you minus that number together, you minus it, you get a number, it comes out to 2, right? And then you take the 15 and 19 in a matrix world, you're gonna flip it where you're gonna make a plus. So you add 15 and 14, it equals to 29. So now you have a 29 and a 2. And if you add a 29 and a 2, you get 31. And of course, 31, you can flip it to 13.
Eric, let me show them this. Give me a full screen for a second. As you guys can see right there, you see how you do A1, B2, C3. Okay, as you get the double-digit numbers, you add, like, say, X would be 2 plus 4, which comes out to 6. Or whatever. So you just do it like A is 1, B is 2. Then you take Tron, the letters, and once you add up the whatever, it comes out to 13. So it's real basic, like real basic. You guys could do it. I've been teaching my people how to do Pythagorean versions of stuff because you need to learn that, because that's what the guys behind the curtain are doing. So if you don't believe it, that's awesome. But learn how to do what they're doing. So again, I'll show it one more time since Eric has the screen up still. Let me show you guys one more time. And I do it in a piece of back of my book, so I always have it referenced so I can always come back to it. I'm going to do it real close so you guys can see how to find your letters. So you're going to do Tron. So there's the T, that's the 2, 0. The R is 1, 8. So 8 plus 1 is 9. So, that's how you do it. And then there you go. And then there you go. Okay, so back to you, Eric.
I'll bring it back to me. I was just flip it to. I was just putting in the chat the numbers just in case anybody cares. If you don't care,
debunk it. That's your job on this channel. Go ahead and take it, debunk it, spin it. In fact, that's fine.
I put it right here. T equals 20 plus R equals 18 gives you. I meant minus. Minus 18 gives you 2. Then 15, and then N is 14. I wrote that wrong. I'm sorry, guys. N is 14, not 12. My bad.
It's 14. He means 5 because you're adding 1 and 4.
So it's just kind of cool. So I don't know why I put 12, not 14, but oh well.
Tron equals 13. There we go. Tron is 13. TRON is 13.
So like Bob said. So the Earth sent this Tron sent this satellite, and it, like you said, it fell into a black hole. This is how Voyager fell into like a living machine. It was like a living artificial machine. It was living. It they didn't really explain existence too much on this living machine, but Spock has said it's a living machine. So basically, Voyager lands on top of it, and then Voyager was sent from Earth, to bring peace, to give information. So basically, to make it simple, the satellite and this living machine basically wanted to know who created this. He wanted to talk to the creator.
Looking for God. It's an AI looking for God.
Yeah. And it was mentioned in the show that this living machine is basically like a child in a lot of ways, where it wants to learn and it's stubborn to learn. So on its way to Earth, because Voyager information was he was created on Earth. Yes. So on the way, this living machine basically records its travels. It records the planets it goes by and any ships. Yeah. Any ships tries to interfere and not give the question to the answer, the answer to the question of this living machine.
Yes,
it just tells you you're dead.
Well,
you're gone.
It really, guys, if you look at it created its own bubble. It created its own I would say galaxy. It created its own universe.
Galaxy, and it made it. You see,
literally inside of this it's a universe with planets, with stars. Recreated things based off of the record. Now, and people don't know Voyager. The actual Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 comes with the golden record. And on the golden record, it has everything you need to know about planet Earth. It has songs. It has how to say hello in every language, or the majority of languages they can put on there. Plants, fauna, megafauna. It has everything. All this information we have, and humans. Our anatomy from top to bottom, from crotch to fucking nose. Everything about us is in this damn golden record that has been sent, according to theorists, or according to the narrative, that is, over past the Helios system and outer deep space, where it get caught into the black hole, where it's rewritten and interdimensionally and then comes back. All of this memory of everything. So it basically has its own self-contained universe. So Voyager shows up with its own universe. Understand that?
And
Voyager.
most Enterprise, most ships got destroyed. They were all getting destroyed because they weren't talking to it on its frequency. And the frequency was an old Earth frequency that back in the 80s or 70s was sent.
Yeah,
where they have, even nowadays, guys, remember, radio frequency is basically gone. They went from radio to digital signal in the air. So all radio is all through digital now. So what they did in this movie is it told in the future how old technology dies out, but something old wants to talk to you. It's still talking to you on an old technology base.
Old radio frequency. And guys, here's the laughable part. It's up to you if you want to laugh. I don't know. If you're a science or whatever, I don't care. The Voyager has a storage system. It's an 8-track. Yes, the old 8-tracks you had in your garage when you lifted weights back in the 70s or the early 80s. And you had an 8-track fucking music little square ass with the little tape in the middle, this 8-track. Yes, Voyager has an 8-track. That's how it stores information. Now, this is 1977. So it technically has an 8-track. That's real, guys. This isn't fantasy. This is what they said, the narrative. Also, that's new for me. I don't know how an 8-track can survive into the deep, cold, and frigid, the heat. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it up there. Another thing, this is a Mandela effect for me. I don't like that word. I don't use it. It's a continuity error. I'm going to use that one. I didn't know that the Voyager actually had a radioactive battery. I worked at the Museum of Flight. We've never talked about the radioactive battery. The battery is radioactive. It's plutonium. It's actually, ironically, Eric, I'm sorry about, I don't want to take up too much of the time. So it's plutonium. The battery in Voyager is plutonium-238. Now let's add that up. 2 + 3 + 8 is 13. So anyway, plutonium-238 oxide spheres are in the battery. So somehow Voyager's got nuclear technology back in 1977. And 7 seemed to be relevant, 77, Eric, which is weird because even though fucking Biden is 77 years old, seems to be a lot of 7s bouncing off of shit. I think the Bible has 7s. I think it used to be Noah's Ark was 2 and 2 going on to the Ark animals, but now it's 7 and 7. A lot of 7s, dude. A lot of 7s. But anyway, Voyager. Yes, 1977.
No, like you said, it's interesting. Like you said, how it's alive. I mean, we don't know. Like you said, maybe it is destroyed, but of course in the movie it's not. So basically, guys, of course Spock figures out how to talk to it. So they were allowed to fly like into it. Now,
yes.
Part of the movie where I like dial up. Yeah. the old dial up. So basically, part of this movie is Feature wants to learn more. So basically, here's a picture of this woman here. On the ship, she was a normal woman, but then Voyager basically took a human soul, took it to wherever they're inside their head, brain, I don't know what you want to call it, and then basically brought her back to the Enterprise as, I guess you could say, like a Terminator kind of a robot, where on the outside, like a Terminator, it looked like it has real skin, but it's basically machine, but still have the
it's a combination. It's weird.
Yeah. No, it's a combination. It's a combination because now she comes back. She has like that little red thing is like an antenna. It basically sends back information. So it's kind of a Terminator in a lot of ways. Looks like Sophia, the robot.
Yeah, it looks like Sophia, don't it? No, that's a good one. It does look like Sophia. Actually, Sophia is a borrowed word. It's an ancient word. I know that we had Tanuj on the channel, and he talks about Sophia. Sophia is a borrowed word from antiquity. It's an ancient blah blah blah. Yeah, look that one up. Yeah.
And what was smart was Captain Kirk, of course, Spock. They noticed that she still has a little bit of the original Soul person, and Decker, this other character, was supposed to be the captain of the Enterprise before Captain Kirk took it over, but that's a whole other thing. Notice that she still has feelings, even though she's a robot now. So to try to use that to talk to the artificial intelligence, to go through the robot where they mixed with man and machine and put it together, kind of like Tron in certain ways. Okay, so
the ghost in the machine,
like you said, like a ghost in a machine. So now, if you think about it, so they finally were able to. I mean, there's so much more to the movie, but we're not going to sit and talk about every little simple thing. But there was a part where it gets to Earth and they're running out of time, and that's where they kind of learned that this machine is like a child. It wants to learn. It's going to pout. It's going to cry until Captain Kirk threatens that, okay, kill us. If you destroy us, you're never going to get the information that you want. So they compromised to meet on this area in this machine world where, of course, Voyager is on. When they discovered Voyager, now what was neat about this is, I don't know how you kind of say this, but what is neat about this is, what I learned is this machine's horny. I'm going to say that. This machine is horny. This machine wants sex. And you're like, what? No, this machine was horny. It wants...
Well, it doesn't want sex. It wants to procreate.
It wants to procreate. That's sex,
yeah,
man.
Procreate. Yeah, sex is the other... That's the...
You're like, what do you mean? No, he didn't. Yes, it did. Let me tell you why. When they found out that this was the original satellite and they want to feed it the information it needed, they found the frequency that worked with that Voyager, and they had the code. They're saying 458 something time dash whatever. While they're doing that, in the middle of it, the Voyager broke a wire. It broke a wire. Now, it broke a wire not because it was getting overloaded. The machine broke the wire on purpose because the machine just didn't want to get it downloaded. The machine wants to
meet God
with the creator. So Decker says, I'll be the creator. So Decker volunteers to be the creator. And while this weird thing going on around him, the girl robot is invited inside with them to become one, basically joins him. And basically, I hate to say this, but Captain Kirk and McCoy and Spock were basically watching two people. They didn't show it, like basically really having sex, becoming one. He was like having an orgasm with this thing going around him. And after they propagate, after they've done their business, what did McCoy said? I haven't delivered a baby in a long time, so it's exciting. Basically, what Star Trek did was it created an AI and a human, bang, 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 to have a real, true birth of an artificial intelligence that's basically half human and half robot.
And this is where Elon Musk comes from. This is how Elon Musk was created by the movie Star Trek. When Homeboy was rocking boots, was knocking boots with fucking Sophia, they made Elon Musk, and then he made Tesla car, and now it's on its way to I think it's at Mars right now. But yeah, Eric, knocking boots with, they merged together to become one. And then the entire universe that showed up to meet the creator, Earth, the God, it's the opposite. The AI went to meet the creator, which is humans, the carbon-based people. It disappeared. Like you said, it completely evaporated back into its dimensional hole, whatever.
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah, the two of them, Adam and Eve, basically Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve. It was the birth of artificial intelligence. Adam and Eve had sex, probably like Elon Musk and his red car, Tesla car. They probably made it. He probably, did his thing, and now it's flying in space with his junk in him.
I think that maybe the Tesla car, the astronaut in the Tesla car is going to mate with the car, and then it goes into some black hole thing, and then they have a whole new universe. And then again, we create Elon Musk again. It just keeps recreating the guy.
Yeah. So basically, this machine flew across the galaxy to get laid. Got laid, going to create a baby.
Yeah. I guess technically you're right.
It received its happy ending. It got its happy ending. I mean, I'm not making this up. If you watch it, I mean, that's exactly what happened. It's not making it up. The machine had a human and an AI robot that it created from a woman. Oh, there we go. Oh, man. God damn it, Carla. That was fucking awesome.
What'd she say? I missed it.
Robot and car, baby. Transformers. That is exactly what a transformer is.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where Transformers come from. Yeah, wait a minute. Elon Musk's car goes into.
Hey, hold on.
Yeah, sure.
Star Trek was 1979. Let's see when Transformers came out.
We got Transformers.
Hold on. When did hold on. Transformers come out? Let's see here.
It's the Tesla car. What was it? The Adam was the Tesla car. No, yeah, Adam was the Tesla car, and Eve, I guess, was the astronaut. Or no,
the Transformer cartoon. I have to write cartoon because it's giving me the movie cartoon. Cartoon came out in 1984, so you could say that Cybertron was probably the birthplace of this machine. It probably gave birth to these robots to become cars and planes.
Well, it could be Voyager and that dude. So Voyager and that Star Trek dude, they made Transformers. Maybe that's where Transformers come from. Maybe it's not Elon Musk.
Yeah. Is there like a car Transformer that looks like Tesla? is there a Tesla Transformer car? Hold on.
I don't think that robots fuel. Maybe
a Tesla Transformer car.
Yeah.
Is that introducing Voltic? Is that a comic? Is that made up?
I might be. I don't know. I don't remember any. I know there've got to be some Transformer fucking comic books, obviously. But at least now we know we're. But here's the thing about Voyager, guys. Back to Voyager, and the same thing with the movie Voyager. We used to be, my memory, which is incorrect. Let me state that again. Incorrect. I remembered the Boondocks on Sagittarius Arm, way the fuck outside the Milky Way, on the fucking furthest end out, like way out in the sticks, man. But now we're in Orion's spur, Orion's whatever, keeps changing. But we're a hop skip away from the black hole. Understand this? The black hole is right over there. Like, we used to be really far away, but the egg yolk, which is the center of the Milky Way, is a black hole. So we're right next to the black hole. So in this theory, in this place, Eric, when they launched Voyager, if Voyager just keeps going, if he passes Albuquerque and keeps headed that direction, he's going to go into the black hole, just like the movie. Just like the movie. if you use the narrative that NASA's given to you, I got thrown off. Am I back on? I got kicked off. That's weird. I got kicked off.
Oh, you're
It's
here.
technically, in all reality, no bullshit aside, no joking, Voyager is technically headed towards the black hole. Sagittarius A is the area where the black hole is. It is headed that direction, Eric. It's not. If this thing is real and all this in this video game, we'll just call it a video game. It is in this video game technically headed towards the black hole. So the movie isn't like we talk about every fucking movie is like all of a sudden true or coming true according to the narrative. There it is. There's the there's the vector, which changed for me, and then there's the ring, which is, I think it's supposed to be Sagittarius dwarf galaxy merging into Canis Major galaxy into Milky Way galaxy into one big ass, according to narratives. Yes. So Voyager is headed towards the black hole. It is, in reality, headed towards the black hole. If whatever you want to call this is reality.
And in the Star Trek world, now Voyager is going to be a daddy or grandpa, or I don't know. He's going to be something because they made it with the creator. They actually got down to business. It's kind of like if a guy goes to Vegas and goes to one of those cat houses, have their happy ending, left and say goodbye. What happens if it stays in Vegas, and what happens on that ship stays on that ship, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it didn't come back. It's like a sailor, man. It made its rounds, like a military guy. The Voyager made its rounds, and then made its way back with the help of some interdimensional other galaxy kind of help monsters, robots, whatevers.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Who knows now? On the way back to wherever it came from, they're gonna.
What's the black hole?
You know, who knows if they're gonna make together. No.
I'm not even lying. I'm not lying to you. It is headed towards the black hole. It is in the heliosphere, headed out into the black hole, in the direction. It just keeps going north or south or whatever the fuck direction you want to call it in space. Right over there, the black hole. There it goes.
That's weird. The connection is so weird on your side, because my connection is clear as a bell, but it seems like on your side there's something you're breaking up.
Yeah, it's the reptilians. They don't want us speaking about Voyager.
They probably don't. And then if you take both movies, you take Tron, where you combine, human into the robot world, and then you take Star Trek, where a machine has sex with a human, the creator, and they made they made international, I don't know, space station babies or whatever. They made Transformers as babies. Then you got the Terminator, where basically Terminator is a robot that was created by man, and then somehow this technology, these robots somehow learn how to make blood skin. So these robots can travel through time, because in the theory of Terminator, if something travels through their time, nothing could go through. No clothes, no shirt, no nothing, not even metal. So somehow the Terminator invented real skin to go over a robot enough so it can actually travel through time. So I'm surprised they didn't make like a gun that was covered up with skin, so Terminator could bring back a weapon with them. But I don't know. I know he created his own weapon. So basically, a Terminator is a different kind of artificial intelligence, where man created it. Of course, I mean, Star Trek, they created Voyager, but they didn't create the living machine that was already out there. Now Tron kind of, they created the master program. And of course, in Terminator, they created where this machine, kind of like war games, thought the only way to win for safety is to kill all humans, because the real enemy on this planet is humans. humans are the real threat, in which if you take the Terminator idea, that's what we're living in now. Where the real threat is us. Us as humans are the real threat of humanity.
And it went live.
So Skynet and Terminator, they figured out how to do a time travel to defeat the humans, is to go back in time to destroy the main human so they don't get destroyed in the future. Now,
yeah.
So, I mean, it's simple, but now the main twist of somehow what they did in this movie, where it kind of makes it a true virtual reality, a different timeline, is the character they're trying to kill was only way it could get made, it was born, is from a future guy to go back in time to make love and have sex with an 80s girl, and the baby they have is the one that's going to defeat the robots. Now, of course, in a weird theory, trying to think about that, is a man has to be made in the first place so that timeline could happen, but somehow they skipped that and made a future guy go back and make that timeline. So
it's within the same family too. Well, yeah, not yeah. Remember, he goes from the future to the past.
So, Bob, do you know what kind of theory is where a future has sex, where the main reason the robots went back is to kill that future guy? So, what do you think they're trying to do with this kind of a timeline? Did they really did a split, split timeline somehow?
Yeah, I mean, they have the math for it now, and they actually use the math in the Avengers movie. If you're measuring the matrix, you're not using a linear line. You're measuring the matrix. You have what's called an eigen value. Your eigen value marks the spot within the matrix of the point where you're going from point A to point B, and there it is.
Wow.
Theoretically, Sexy's 80 girls, hell yes. But so theoretically, yes, you could go from this point, just like the movie The Avengers, you jump back to this point within the matrix lines, within all the fucking lines of the matrix, conceive or whatever, have a child. It moves forward, but then it's the argument goes, it's a whole new line. It's a whole new reality line. So all these movies themes always do that, where it jumps back to the past, creates a whole new reality line, and that line moves forward. So in theory, yes, they could do that, and they've very well in most movies.
I get going back in time, and you can create a new timeline. I mean, they did that very well in Back to the Future, especially like Part 2, where
exactly
he changed the timeline. Even in Part 1, when he goes back, he has the truck. But a timeline has to be made in the first place.
Has to be made in the first place, correct.
Yeah,
so it has to be.
It wasn't technically made in the first place because it had to get to a point A to send something back to change it. But this
there's the other. That's the other argument. That's the other argument. There isn't a splinter. There is no splinter. That's the other time travel argument, dude. There is no splinter. So if I were to go back in time, I was always supposed to go back in time. There's the argument. You were always supposed to do it. You were always scheduled, written into the novel that we live in, the fucking video game, to go back, change that, do this, drop a fucking egg. That egg goes forward and then manifests the new future. So you were always supposed to do it. And then when you go back, you're still yourself with the same memory, same everything, except for things have changed slightly, but it's still the same because you were always supposed to have done that. Always supposed to have done that. Is that old argument where if I went back in time, met my grandfather, gave him a watch, and then as time goes forward, would my grandfather, as me as a baby, give me the watch when I got to a certain age, give me back the watch? Grandfather, what is this? You gave this to me. I gave this to you. You gave this to me when you went back in time. So I went back in time, grandfather? Yes, this was the watch you gave me. So he gives me the watch. As I go forward and go to university, whatever, I build a time machine. Then I go back in time and I give my grandfather the watch. So the watch becomes trapped in this cycle. The watch will become trapped in this cycle of time. You understand? You understand the concept? So if I have a watch, grandfather gives me a watch. I use the watch to build a time machine. I go back in time and I give my grandfather the watch. But then I come back. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying technically, Carla. Technically, you're wrong now, Carla. John Connor knew he was his dad. You're wrong now because in the last Terminator movie, John Connor was killed as a kid. They sent the Terminator back and the kid was killed in the last Terminator movie. Oh, what was that last one called?
It was horrible is what it was.
It was horrible. What was it called?
It was the Terminator PC. It's the political fucking correct version where they had you had a lesbian, you had the people of color, you had a whole plethora of
Dark Fate. Dark Fate.
It's the Star Wars PC all over again. I'm so another PC movie, but yes, the new one's a piece of shit. It doesn't even follow the fucking.
So technically, after all that Terminator 2 stuff, where you go, they survive, and then they made this one because the last one they made, they skipped 3, 4, and 5, whatever. They didn't exist anymore. This last Terminator is only a sequel from the second one. So they go through all that, technically, just for him to die one day still as a kid. I mean, but if you start thinking about this, now, if you're that guy who went back in time, I know it's a little nerd. I know this is nerdy talk.
Yes.
Goes back in time, destroyed the Terminator to protect her so she could survive, have the kid to, so they could fight another day in the future and win that war. So he didn't know, technically, he was the father of John Connor. So he could have technically fucked up the future by being horny and having sex because not knowing that you maybe made this woman fall in love with you where she was supposed to like somebody else to have a kid. Now, because he didn't know he was the father. So technically, that's being a little selfish.
Yeah, and then the Terminator himself, the original Terminator was still in this recent version of it, and he was living a binary lifestyle with a woman. So he wasn't procreating, he wasn't even having anything with no whoopee. It was simply a binary relationship. So I'm like, you have just covered all of the relationship statuses within one movie. The binary relationship because of and then you have this person, and you have this ethnicity, and then you have the old resilient alpha female. I'm like, okay, what is this Hollywood piece of shit?
Yeah,
it was purposely made another PC movie to end all movies.
Yep. And to really be honest,
I'm just saying.
What is it? John Connor, you are the father.
You are
the father.
No, I am your father. Then the original, Luke, I am your father. What is it?
To be honest with you, Carla, I'm gonna be honest. I know her favorite is Terminator 2 and Genesis, which actually I didn't think Genesis was a bad movie. But to be honest with you all, I only liked one Terminator movie, the first one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you, Carl. I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I was pissed off at Terminator 2 and above because when Arnold Schwarzenegger played the Terminator, the bad guy, it was fucking awesome. I mean, he was ripping, killing, and then they switched the flip where now he's not the bad guy.
He's the good guy.
Schwarzenegger becomes the good guy.
Which is
I never liked that. I never ever liked that. I loved it when now they wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger to play the main character, the good guy. But he said, guys, I like the evil robot better. And then he gets popular because it made him huge. Conan, and then he decided that he wants to be a good Terminator. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. I didn't like him being a good Terminator.
It is reflecting what we live in now. For those of you in the whatever camp you want to call it, if we want to call the flip like the Mandela effect reality world, whatever, I don't like the word, but whatever it is, everything has flipped, as in like the masculine has become the feminine. Now, Eric, I was joking with somebody today in England. I had just watched the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood was famous for his snarl. He never smiled in his movies. He had a slight sinister smile, but I watched it the other night, dude, and that motherfucker smiled every other scene, and I said, this man looks gay now. I'm not putting down the homosexual community. Oh, his brother was gay. But he was very, very feminine in the movies now. And I've noticed, we joked about it in the past, how everything's flipped. Like how Terminator was a badass, and we knew him, and then all of a sudden he flipped to a good guy. Tom Cruise was a badass sliding across the floor with a white shirt and sunglasses and being groovy cool in the 80s. Now he's in a pink shirt with no sunglasses. He flipped to a feminine.
Yeah.
We talked yesterday, Eric, remember with the idol? That I know for a fact that was a male idol in Indiana Jones, the original Indiana Jones. Now that little idol has it's voluptuously has a butt, a female's exterior, gluteus maximus. It has female breasticles. It's giving birth to a baby. You can't get more female than this idol.
Oh,
it's switched.
Oh.
It's switched. Yeah. So when I see the Terminator's attempts they flipped him around, now he's a softie.
Yeah, I don't have any problem if people love the second, third one. I mean, don't get me. It's just for me. I didn't like the flip. For me, the whole world is flip flop. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the whole world is flip flop. Like Bob said, Terminator went from badass. I'm talking about the Arnold character part, and then he turns to the good guy, and then the last one, the main half robot, half human character to defeat the robot, like is a woman skin mixed with the robot, and then you have Arnold now living with a woman, being like a father that he can't do anything with. So I mean, the whole thing is just all flip flops, and I'm sorry, I sometimes I just want to see the original where I know who's the bad guy, who's the good guy. You're trying to fuck him up, he's trying to fuck you up. And at the end, the men die and the women survive.
Yeah, even in the movie, the Terminator movie, if those of you that remember, like I remember, he says, I'll be back. I'll be back. And now he says, I'll be back. I'm like, dude, are you gay? What happened to fucking badass Arnold? I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm like, okay, I'm so sick of everything switching upside down. Everything. What used to be feminine is now masculine. What was masculine is now feminine.
I know.
John Wayne, Eric, and I watched The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Then I watched John Wayne in one of his famous movies with his mother dies and his three brothers beat him there. And he shows up in this scene, dude, and he's got a scarf on. Now, John Wayne's famous for his scarf. He's got a scarf, and that scarf has a pattern on it. And I'm like, that looks like a scarf that a woman would wear. That is not the same scarf that man wore in a movie. He's wearing really soft patterns, and I'm like, and the guys' shirts, they look like the Western style shirts in this timeline. They're very feminine with the angled pockets, and I'm like, oh no, these accurately Western clothes in Hollywood now are very feminine. Back in the past, they were cowboys. I can't do it. I'm like, I can't watch movies. I can't watch any machismo badass dude movies because these guys are all they look flaming to me now. They look flaming. They flamage.
My favorite is still the first one. I mean,
yes.
I mean, it just.
He was badass. He's with O'Connor has the 80s girlfriend, the girl he's trying to save. She was feminine. She was strong and feminine, and he was masculine and Terminator. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger was masculine. He had a couple of gay lines that's changed, but very masculine still, yes. But then later on, if you see him, then she becomes machismo badass, and then he becomes binary in a relationship.
Sometimes I think they got too cute. I think they got too cute with the special effects technology about the melting of the robots, and they kind of forgot because in the second in the last one they did it where a Terminator can split into two and all that. Now the one of the Terminator movies I never really understand. Which one was it? Let me see. Which one is it?
Run into a liquid nanotechnology.
Terminator Salvation. They missed an opportunity on this one. They really missed that opportunity of doing the Salvation one. The Salvation one is the one where it's the Christian Bale playing John Connor. And they really missed it where they could have done something extra cool about the final battle of the future of defeating the robots. And they kind of just fucked it all up. And they only show Arnold at the end, an extra scene where he's being made or something.
Yeah.
It was really retarded. They could have really done this well if somebody would have written this very well.
Yeah.
Never watched Salvation either. Yeah, Salvation wasn't all that, Carla. It was just I don't know what they were trying to get at. I mean, they could have done it very well, the final battle, the final, the reason why they sent robots back to save this guy, to save John Connor, and they just poo-pooed the whole fucking movie.
Well, the latest one, Eric and I were joking about a lot of people in these shows, and we're joking about it Arnold the character, the Terminator character, he actually became a hipster with his flannel and his stuff. I don't know. He became a hipster. There's a lot of very feminine hipster-ish characters in movies now. Very feminine. The new Star Trek, Eric, we joked about the new Star Trek, the newest one, was filled with transgender ideas, new transgender philosophies, very feminine males, very masculine females. This is being pushed on people. I'm not saying it's bad, everybody. I'm just saying it's just what it looks like now. This is what the movies look like. This is what is being portrayed for you.
What you're kind of saying is if you're trying to keep a flow of movie to movie, you had this flow. Instead of adding one or two into certain positions, you kind of did a total flip flop. All of a sudden, it was, I don't know how you said, you said it perfectly, but it's like, one minute you had all men fighters in planes, and then all of a sudden half the plane, like in Star Wars. Star Wars is a good example. Star Wars, when they fight the Death Star, it was mostly all men fighting the Death Star, and nothing against women. Yeah. And then the very last ones, half the crew was women, where they didn't do it, like you said, smoothly. If you would have done it where half the men got destroyed and you needed more women to help out, kind of like that they did it very well in Battlestar Galactica series, where all the pilots got destroyed and they needed farmers. They needed whoever to learn how to fly. So in Battlestar Galactica in the original 70s, brought in they needed fighters, so women was brought in. So it wasn't like it was all men. The bam, next episode they did this woman switch. In Battlestar, they got destroyed and they needed the women and men, and they did it naturally. So it was very well done.
Yeah, and the women were still feminine looking. They still had their feminine attributes. They were still girls. They were fighters or warriors. They were pilots, but they were still women. As in now, you've got Captain Marvel girl with the short hair, the butch haircuts, and the fucking strong, overly the top mentality. I had nothing wrong with you the first time with the law. It don't matter. Why would you? Why are you coming off like this? What? I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of switching going on. I'm just seeing what I'm seeing as an anthropologist, as I'm someone observing. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm chaotic neutral. I'm just bringing up the information that a lot of you have seen in movies and genres and shows, that you have a feminized male now and a strong female. Is that what we need now? I don't know. Is that what the Matrix is producing in the video game? Is this what we need?
Toxic femininity.
Toxic. I like that word. Toxic femininity. Yes.
You know,
yes. It is. I don't have no respect for feminism.
Let's talk. Marvel. Let's go with Captain Marvel for a second.
Yes.
The very first Wonder Woman movie was actually, I thought it was excellent, because it wasn't the normal formula of a superhero movie. She was learning not just to be a hero, learning how to live in the real world during World War I, right? She had to go through the World War I, and the man and her needed each other in a way, because the man was the soldier. He knows how to be a spy, and she did not. She didn't understand, so he had to help her, which was cool. Captain Marvel, they should have kind of done it in that way, but they gave her storyline such a normal cookie cutter. This is the formula. You get your ass kicked, and then you're gonna rise up, you get your ass kicked, and then you're gonna win at the end. They did exact formula on a typical origin movie for any superhero, and they should have did Captain Marvel differently, where make her like Wonder Woman first movie, where she was learning this area. She was learning all this. She wasn't that perfect formula that you already did with Iron Man and stuff.
Friday. I'm drinking a damn beer on camera.
And look, guys, I got a bottle opener this time, if I know how to use it.
Bigfoot beer. Thank you.
And then, wow, guys, I can't even. Where is my bottle opener? I gotta get my bottle opener here. I can't even. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go, people. There we go. I don't think this is the bottle opener.
You need a bottle opener?
What the hell?
What?
Hey, did I get gypped here?
What happened? You tell me.
I found it. I found the bottle opener.
Oh.
There it is. There it is.
I thought Eric done got Mandela. He done turned into feminine. I knew he could open a beer.
What I'm saying is they should have done Captain Marvel like Wonder Woman, the first one, and then of course, and then now, what it sad is for Wonder Woman, I was excited for the second one, but the second one was fucking stupid. They went back to that stupid same formula that they made it childish. They made, you win, get your ass kicked, and you win at the end.
Yes.
It's like you got these great women superhero characters, and you did it right the first movie, but you didn't do right the second one. Like make it where, make it good. I don't know. I'm sorry. I know we're way off topic. We went from a Terminator all the way to Captain Marvel to Wonder Woman. And you know what?
Well, yeah.
I know somebody's there now saying, "Why, Eric? Are you saying that because the director? I forgot her name. She's a woman that she actually wrote this one." And she didn't write the first Wonder Woman. And I'm not saying because the first one was better because she didn't, she wrote this one or not. I'm just saying that you got these great characters, man. You don't have to keep the same formula flow. Kind of like Salvation, you have the opportunity to do something awesome. and you fuck it up. Now saying that, what they did with WandaVision, I don't know if you guys have seen this in the chat. I'm telling you guys right now, I know a lot of you don't watch TV. I get that. I understand that. I know a lot of you don't watch streaming services. But if you did, WandaVision, they got it right. They got this. Got the show done right, and the main star is a woman who's Wanda. You know, I forgot her superhero name. What's her superhero name? What? I know her as Wanda.
She's Russian.
She's
Russian.
What's the super? I gotta type this in. While you say something, you type it in.
Well, yeah, I love WandaVision. Guys, the only reason why and people say don't watch, no, you can watch movies. I'm breaking them down. Now, I can't watch them like I used to.
Oh,
I have to watch them.
Scarlet Witch. She's the Scarlet Witch.
I'm looking for the truth drops and everything. I'm just there's all these little secret little truth drops and everything. It's the same thing back in the early campaigns or the early theaters where they didn't have television or movies or anything. They did them in books. And of course, you guys are into religion. You know that the Bible has changed. You know that the Torah has changed. You know that the Quran has changed. All these things are same thing as in the movies. So if you're into the screaming about the Bible changes, then you should be watching certain movies because it's the same kind of weird changes going on. A lot of flipping of things going on. A lot of messages coming out. It's the same thing, except it's not a book. It's a movie.
Oh, that was so strange. My music program just jumped on my screen.
My shit always turns on on the show. The show will be going, and all of a sudden my fucking phone, which is off, will just turn on.
People were writing in Scarlet Witch. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot that. I'm on WandaVision. Yeah, they done it right. When you do it right, it's good, and it doesn't matter if it's starring a man or a woman. The script has to come first, always.
Yes.
And the main thing why we're talking about all these movies, because all these movies deal with artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And some of you might think, well, none of this is going to happen. But you don't think the government is working on artificial intelligence to think they're going to protect the world from everything? I mean, if you look at the Marvel movie, what was Iron Man's main thing about creating Ultron? He wanted to create artificial intelligence.
Well, he is artificial intelligence
on the world to protect us from everything. Terminator is because man got greed and made a machine, and the machine found out that the most evil people on this planet were humans.
Viruses are humans. Humans are the viruses when it comes to the planet.
Go to the movie War Games with the Whopper machine.
Yes.
Where was it Falco or what is it? Where he was trying to create an artificial intelligence where this thing plays games, but it learns how to lose. It learns how to win and lose, right? Yeah. And then the government took over the machine and they stole his program to part of it. And this machine was trying to start a World War III. Well, Matthew brought us kind of
game. Yeah, it was playing a game. And ironically, the name of the machine, the password into the machine, which is technically the name of the actual computer, the deep-seated soul of the computer, was Joshua, which is another way of saying Yeshua, which is another name of saying Jesus. I'm just saying that. But Joshua was the name of this AI system that was trying to save the planet. And in doing so, there's only one way to save the planet. That's to destroy it. That's it. That's what it couldn't figure out any other way to do it.
Hey, Shelly, if you're still there, it's kind of funny, Shelly, when you said that you mailed a letter, and when I went and checked a while back, the only thing that was in Bob's mailbox was a mistake letter of a religion card. And I was thinking, oh, this must what Shelly sent, a religion card. So she found it in her car. That makes sense, because I was like, okay, we got a card about religion, but the name on the card wasn't your name, Bob, or my name. It was somebody else's name. They put it in your mailbox by accident.
Yes.
It was a religion card. I'm like, are they trying to tell something? Trying to say something?
Was that from Shelley? Who was that from? Who was the card from? You don't know?
No. That card was put in the mailbox by mistake.
Oh, okay.
At first, I thought that was the card that Shelley was talking about.
Huh.
But I'm trying to find something here for a second. Where is it? Let me try to find something here. Trying to find something here. I don't know why I can't find it.
Rain.
Where the hell did I lose it? Huh?
I'm gonna pour it down here in a minute. Thank God it's getting dark.
Oh no, it's gone.
What did you lose? What are you looking for?
I don't want to say because I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings.
Oh. Is it the 4-leaf clover that you told me I had came in?
Yeah, I must have put it somewhere else. There must be some kind of a Mandela effect going on here.
Huh. Oh, wait a minute. I think I grabbed that. It was in your top drawer, you said. I think maybe I forget shit. So I think maybe I had grabbed that. I think it's sitting on next to my computer.
Oh, can you grab
it? Maybe Mandela, I won a 4-leaf clover, which is beautiful, by the way. I have it as it's a necklace. I think I took it out. You said it was in your top drawer. I think a couple of days ago, I think I found it and I put it in my I have like a jewelry box as a man. I have important box. I made sure I put it in the box. I don't forget that necklace. Here.
Okay. Because I was like, it was right here. I swear.
Next show I'll break it out. Next show I'll put it on camera. I should have had it ready for the camera. It's a beautiful necklace. I think it's sitting next to my computer in that room. It's a small room, and I'm in that room Eric's sitting in right now. But I think it's next to the computer. I call it my military laptop. Sit there on the countertop. It should be there unless it fell down. I put it in that box. Is it there?
It's kind of dark back here, but I'll do it later.
Yeah, I will find it. I want to show that off. Yeah, I think you maybe Mandela. I do have that. Forgot about.
What is this? Don't worry, it'll show up on the refrigerator tomorrow. You're probably right.
Yes, I found that. I was like, oh, it's a 4-leaf clover. Those are fucking rare, man. Apparently, according to them, they were finding them. I think Callie was finding them all over the place. 4-leaf clovers. There's our good friend sent it and all that. So, hey guys, I'm actually gonna end this a few minutes earlier today, but the reason I'm doing that is if there were some emails sent and wanted to ask me about what I think about this movie called Bliss. That's on Amazon, and people are saying that this movie is making fun of the Mandela Effect community. Huh.
Yeah, people are saying this. So I don't want to talk about that on this channel, on that movie about people saying it. If any of you care, in about it's 2:45, in about 20 minutes, I'm gonna pop a live show on my gypsyroad.live channel on my website that I own. I made and created this website, and I'm gonna talk about that movie. And is it really making fun of Mandela kind of a deal? I'm gonna explain on that channel about it, and I don't want to say the wrong thing here. So So it's not meant for this channel. But if any of you care, if any of you want to see that live in about 20 minutes, go to gypsyworld.live. It's on the very first page now. You scroll down. It's not like YouTube where you preview it. You can put up you put a thumbnail and it's coming. It's kind of like it'll just come on. So if you guys want to see that live, just jump on to gypsyworld.live about 20 minutes, and I will be on there, and I'll tell you my actual opinion about Bliss and all that. I'll tell you my real opinion. Is it really making fun of the community, or is it something that people are just making up? Yeah. And I'll get more personal on that channel. So beyond that, if you guys are there, great. That's awesome. If you're not, don't worry about it.
I'll be getting drunk and high on the outside here. So
and also, if you want the newsletter that I send out Sunday nights, all you got to do is sign up on the website. It's free. I'm not charging. Sign up on the website, so you can also get that newsletter that I send out every Sunday night. So beyond that, guys, today was fun.
Yeah,
we had a great time, and if I see some of you guys over on my other channel, fantastic. If I don't, I'll see you guys on Monday.
Yeah, because
everybody.